Whether you keep them in your home or love to see them in theirs, these are the creatures that bring us all together.
Reptiles. We're going to be delving into the experiences of reptile lovers from around the block and around the world. This is the Reptile Talk Podcast. Boom! What is up, everybody? This is Jeremy Turgeon from Brassman Reptiles.
And I'm Rob, and I'm keeping it real.
Hey, and we're back. We had a little hiatus because Rob and I have both been doing some traveling and doing some work and, you know, existing as humans in the world.
Capitalist hellscape. Yeah, we're in it.
Woo! Yay!
Bro.
Oh, man. No, I'm super stoked. So tonight we're going to be recapping some of our adventures that happened. That happened last month, which is crazy. Like, I can't believe it's already September. That's kind of nuts. Like,
Animal Con's coming up.
I know. Next week. Like,
Holy
I feel
moly.
like I just got back from Daytona. Like, it's freaking nuts, dude. But I am very excited. I'm excited for Animal Con this year. I'm excited for the fact that it's expanded so quickly. It's going far beyond reptile keepers. There's a lot of mammal people, a lot of bird people, a lot of those other more commonly kept loved animals.
I want to see the guinea pig section.
Oh my God, if there's a guinea pig section, I'm letting a retic loose.
No. You just gotta walk by and like crinkle a little bag of lettuce and just all of them turn around.
Right. Oh man. No, but I'm definitely stoked for it. It should be a fun time. Also, of course, shout out to our show sponsor,
Black Box Cages. Hey.
Been repping them all day. And I'm excited. They're working on some arboreal racks right now.
You don't say.
Yes, I'm very excited. I talked with Jen this a little while ago as they were kind of like trying to figure out sizing and stuff like that and what would work really well. So I talked to them about that. And after a wonderful conversation in Daytona with Ron St. Pierre, I have some caging ideas that I want to pitch to them soon once I finish kind of sketching them out. That I think will be really good specifically for arboreal animals. Yeah, so I'm very excited. I've also learned that I can't draw a square to save my fucking life. So
you're a musician, not an artist. Come on.
I guess so.
It's a different type of art, I guess.
Yeah, it's visual art is not my thing.
Yeah. More of a feeling, you know. It's more of a feeling.
Yeah. I'm about painting the soundscape.
Soundscape. Yes. I feel
that's what I'm here for. And there's no mistakes. There's only jazz.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
Oh gosh, but yes.
So today is a very special person's birthday too.
It is Mr. Brian Barczyk's birthday today.
And I'm going to wish him a happy birthday right now on the air.
Hell yeah. On the air. Happy birthday, Brian.
We love him.
Hell yeah, man. I'm excited that he's going to be able to be at Animal Con. He got the clearance from his doctors to take a few weeks off from treatment, which means that things are going well to be able to take some time off. So I'm excited that he's going to be there. I was actually just watching a couple of his vlogs just to see if there were updates on how the aquarium's doing. And it sounds like they're getting ready to start breaking ground very soon for the tanks that have to be built on site, like some of those massive, like 30-foot enclosures. So I'm really stoked for that. I'm certainly planning to be at the grand opening of the aquarium. So I think we just got to take a trip, bro. Once that date is set, we just got to take a trip up to Michigan.
Hell yeah!
And just go stare at some really cool animals.
For real.
But yes, happy birthday, Brian. Yeah, man. Today's just a good day. It's just a good fucking day all around. Okay. So Rob, we've both done some traveling.
Yes. Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a tad, 500 miles or so,
Yeah, I drove that. So,
Yep, me too, buddy.
8 hours in the car. I was like, "Whoo."
Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
yep. Although shorter than the drives we had to take to get ourselves down here from New Hampshire.
True.
So,
I'm about to make that in a couple weekends. So,
oh, are you really?
yeah, I'm going back up to Massachusetts. First time since I left. I'm going back.
Dang.
And I got to go back again in October. So,
Oh man.
Yeah, buddy.
Woohoo! Gonna rack up them miles, bruh. Them miles.
Yeah, the place that you went was a lot more tropical than the place that I went.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Did you get eaten by a shark?
No. I have to find it though. Somebody. Shit, hang on. Let me see if I can grab that bag. Hang on. Let's see. Talk to the people. I'm gonna see if I can find. Somebody came up to me randomly and gave me something. And I'm gonna see if I can find it because it should be in this bag right here. So entertain the folks while I rummage through this bag.
I'll entertain the folks. I'll tell them what I've got going on. So I'm barreling down on scrub python eggs. Those eggs are probably like 2-3 weeks away from hatching out, so that should be cool. I think she laid 8 eggs. One went bad within like the first 2 weeks, and then I got the 7 left. So I'm excited to see what comes of that. I've been much less secretive about this clutch than last clutch. So
yeah,
I just been every couple weeks I look at the incubator. I'm like, oh yeah, there's something in that incubator. I got to go look at that.
Oh gosh.
And then baby corn snakes are slamming food. Like they almost all of them took frozen thawed right off the bat. I was like, thank goodness.
Same. Yeah. Yep. I just sold my first one from that clutch. Went out today.
Yeah.
And the pink was coming in, dude. Like I'm bummed you didn't get to see it before it went because it was the coral snow that hatched.
Ooh.
And when it first hatched, it was it's just a snow corn. I didn't really think much of it. Dude, within 2 sheds, it was freaking pink. And I'm like, why do you have to be a male? But yeah, I was like, heck yeah. And there's a couple other ones are starting to really get pink. So I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Focatees are doing good. And I had someone message me today. They're like, I'm surprised you still have them. And I'm like, I really haven't tried to sell them yet. I've just been feeding them. I really hate corn snakes when they're that like earthworm size. Yes. And so I'm just like feeding them up. I'm like, I'm going to get them like, they're already starting to show color like crazy, which is wild to me because I was not really expecting them to show color until they were much bigger, but they're already starting to show color. And I've got a few people who are waiting on me to message them about, they're all ready to go. They've all eaten like 8 times or something, but
yeah,
I just wanted to put a little bit of size on them before I actually send them out the door. And like, what is it? Phyrophanix, the puffing bird snakes or whatever. Like one of the ways that people get the babies to eat is to hold them and then like harass them with the pinky mouse. And that's what I did with this clutch. Like I just like picked them up, put the pinky up to their nose and started, wiggling around. And they got the picture. That's how I got almost all of them to eat at first because they were all like running like crazy. I was like, I wonder if this will work. And so I just grabbed them, put the pinky up in front of them, like harass them a little bit, and they start eating. So now they'll all just take it right off of tongs. But that first couple times, I thought it was just funny because I'm just holding them and they're just like chowing down on this mouse.
And you're like, you would not have survived in the wild if you had to be held to eat. Yeah, no, it's funny. So while I was at Daytona, I was dealing with an injury to my lower back. So when I came back, I was laid up for a little while, and my partner Mark helped me out taking care of some stuff, and he also helped me feed snakes. So I'm like showing him how to like go through and feed things, and we got to like some of the younger bloods and short tails, and I'm like,
watch out for these
guys. Well, I was like, watch out for these, but I was like, also a couple of these you got to like beat them with food before they finally take. He's like, what are you talking? I'm like, literally just start freaking blah.
They'll take it after like 2.5 minutes of that.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, okay. So I found what I was looking for.
Oh.
So I had somebody come up to me randomly. And I feel terrible because I don't remember their name, mostly because there was way too much alcohol being slung through Daytona, as typical. I should know by now, ending up sitting next to the Bells and Todd from Timberline, that the Jello shots don't stop.
They don't ever
stop. But so somebody came up to me and gave me this.
Yes.
Oh, I have to give you this, Rob.
Yes, I need to take that with me next time I go to Daytona, so I can get a picture of me in the water at nighttime with
this shark. Yes.
That's
I'm gonna leave it on my audio interface with you. Like, I think I was talking with Tom from Zoom Ed, and he just like tapped me on the shoulder and was like, I know this is really random, but I have to give you something that has to get to Rob. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. No worries, man. And I don't know what it's going to be. And then he's like, and I started cracking up because I was like, oh my God, this is freaking great.
That is great. That's hilarious.
So I'm going to make a challenge now. And when we get closer to Daytona next year, I'm going to bring it back up. And that is, I think, we need to make sure that we get back up on our merch for the podcast. But I'm going to say the first 3 people that bring sharks to us at Daytona are going to get a Reptile Talk t-shirt.
T-shirt. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down for that.
So we're going to revisit this. Yeah, we'll revisit this for next year's Daytona. But yeah.
Yeah, I figure that once this clutch of scrubs hatches out, I'm not really planning on keeping anything from it, like maybe one. I'm not really planning on keeping stuff. So any of the money that I make from that, I'm just going to book out my trips for a little while, book the Daytona for next year, Tinley and all that sort of stuff. So
hell yeah. Yeah, it was a great trip for sure. Daytona is always a blast. So I was super stoked. But I want to hear about Carpet Fest because we FaceTimed you at Carpet Fest the week before Daytona.
Yes.
And it looked like there were some faces there that sometimes cause a little debauchery. So I'm interested.
But it was actually the most mild, like everyone told me, is the most mild Carpet Fest that's happened, and I'm okay with that.
Yes, so I was gonna say I heard from Balin at Daytona that it was a little bit of a snooze fest compared to years past. So I'm like, well, after a couple of years off, it's gotta ramp back up before people start jumping off roofs again.
Yeah,
so
I specifically got told, hey, look, you're not jumping off the roof, and I was like, oh, okay. I just heard that was a thing. I heard that was a thing. I was just checking to see if it was still an option. I guess it's not an option. So yeah, Carpet Fest was awesome, man. Honestly, I had a really good time. I know people are like, oh, it was a little bit more tame than years past, but I still really enjoyed my time there. You get to see some really just incredible people. We're talking like you said, Jason Balin was there, Justin Julander was there, Nick Mutton, Ryan Young, Matt Minatola, Keith McPeak, like Keith and Teresa, bro.
Yep.
Owen and Eric, the OGs.
It's Eric and Owen. Eric always goes first.
Sorry, Owen's breeding more stuff right now, so he gets priority. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, all right, fair.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, but man, oh my God, how am I gonna forget Zach Baez? We got to hang out, and they're showing me pictures. Yeah. Oh my God, man! Like
Zach be out there in the field, bro.
Oh my goodness! Like,
yeah.
First off, I think it's mojito chicken. That oh my Lanta,
bruh.
If there is, and first when they slang it on the grill, I was like, okay, I'm gonna like just grab like a piece because I thought there was just like a little bit that got brought. Oh no! It was like a whole cooler full of it. It was so freaking good. It was so good. It was so good. And when he got there, he was just like grilling it up, whipping on the grill. One of the few pictures I took from Carpet Fest was Zach on the grill, and it was incredible. And then after he was done, I was like, hey, I heard you went field herping and you brought your iPad, so can I see some pictures? And so we sat down for like maybe 20 minutes to 30 minutes and just like talk field herping, like Africa and stuff. Oh my God, man. I was just like,
oh yeah, dude.
the amount of knowledge, like, I don't know if people understand how much knowledge that Zach has, but for real, that was like one of my highlights of being there.
Yeah,
and then
dude.
you're saying debauchery people. Nick Scally was there. Yes, he was there.
Yeah. Nick is the debauchery.
He is the debauchery. Bro, it was and then Bill Stiegel showed up too. That was pretty cool. Got to meet him for the first time. There was like the whole
that's right. You haven't met him
crowd.
in person.
No, that was the first time I met him. Yeah. And man, so yeah, I got there and there's like a sign out front that was like Carpet Fest this way. I was like, yes, and I brought cupcakes and it was a good time.
Oh yeah.
And so catching up with Matt Minatola, man, I love him. Adam G was there. Some of the guys from Komodo were there. Like, bro, it was a good time. It was a really good time.
That's all the homies.
Yeah,
it's like all the homies. Yeah.
I hadn't met Ryan Young before and Nick Mutton, so it's like, bro, those guys bred so between the two of them, like
alone, yeah.
And Keith McPeak, come on now.
Yeah, always. Yeah. I talked with him briefly at Daytona because he was down in Daytona too.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to talk with him briefly there, and he showed me some baby Sanzinia that he had had born. It was certainly great to see him and chat with him for a bit for sure. I don't know. I don't think I've met Ryan Young either. Or if I have, it was like really brief and like a very long time ago. But I remember meeting Nick in person at the Carpet Fest right before I started at Nerd.
Oh, okay.
He had flown out for that one. So yeah, it's been a minute since I've seen Nick.
I was like, Nick, you are much more buff than I thought you were. I don't know. I don't know if I was expecting like a bodybuilder, but he's kind of got that build.
He's freaking jacked. He is.
I just listened to him on podcast, so I didn't even know. I had no semblance of what he looked like. And then everyone was like, I was like, oh yeah, Ryan Young's over there. And like, yeah, Nick Mutton's over there too. And I was like, where's Nick Mutton? I don't know. I don't really know what he looks like. I would have went around. I was like, what does Nick Mutton look like? Can someone point me out, Nick? And they were like, everyone was like, you idiot, he's right over there. And I was like, sorry, I didn't.
It would have been more funny if you walked up to him and been like, hey, could you show me where Nick Mutton is?
No. Bro, he's like, who is this fucking jerk off over here? Get out of here,
peasant. This peasant.
I like, I bred scrubs once, I guess.
Oh man.
And then how am I even gonna snub Chris Jansen and Aspen, bro? The two of them were there. I was so hyped because I hadn't seen them since I went to Utah, and they took us herping for that trip with Matt and Keith and them. And it was great talking to them. And Aspen's got a whole bunch of scrubs, so he was showing me some scrub pictures. And oh my god, he's got this bar neck that is absolutely incredible. Like when he showed it to me, he's like, "This one's like kind of cool," and I was like, "No, it's not kind of cool. This thing's incredible, bro. What the hell? You need to breed that thing. I need a baby from that. That's incredible." Damn. The bars have got like a line that goes across it and like connects it with kind of like with the pattern. I was like, oh my god, this thing's immaculate. It's so cool.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, the bars are nice and thick. I was like, oh man, this thing's making me sweat right now.
Yes. Hell yeah, dude. That's freaking awesome. And then was Kohler there? Eric Kohler, was he there?
Yep, Eric Kohler was there too. Yep. Hell yeah. Cannot forget Eric, dude. He's so chill.
He is so freaking chill, dude.
His little heelers. I was like, bro, those things are so cool.
Yes. Yeah, I was when we did that short FaceTime to just kind of see everybody that was there, I was like, oh man, I'm like, those are all the homies, man. Like literally. So for those
one more person, and this is the person who I probably talked to the most while I was there, Rob Stone, bro. Like
oh hell yeah, dude.
We're talking about all these people who are like the most knowledgeable people, and I'm not even talking about Rob Stone, dude. So down to earth, just like me and him talk field herping and snakes. It was just like, bro, the homie. Hell yeah, for real. He's the real deal. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, you're good. It's just like, so I think for people to remember, like, I moved down to North Carolina 2 years ago. It'll
Yep.
be almost 2 years for you too, Rob, coming up
In
soon.
November. Yeah.
We haven't really, like, I've gone back up, but like gone to do like teaching and gigs and stuff. Like I haven't really gone up to see reptile people or hang with reptile people or whatever. So a lot of these guys we haven't seen in a long freaking time, So heck yeah, I was definitely a little envious of you getting to go hang out with all those guys, even though I knew I'd see some of them the next week in Daytona. I was just like, oh man, like this the Northeast crowd, man.
Yeah. Dude, it was such a good time catching up with people and just hanging out. And like, I had to get a little bit of field herping in. So I brought my water shoes and I was looking on the maps and Eric's house is like right on a river. And so I was like, I'm just gonna go walk the river real quick. So like if I lived there, I'd probably look at that river. I'd be like, maybe that's a little too dirty for me to get into. And I was like, I gotta herp a little bit while I'm out here. So I did a quick like walk up and down the river, and there was like a little tiny, I think Justin Julian said it was a tricolor heron. It was like a bluish colored heron. It was a real small one, and there was a great blue heron. And as I walked, I don't know, quarter mile down the river, and then back the other way, and I was like, I'm not going back until I see some sort of herp out here. And what do you know? I see a turtle on a log and it dips off into the water real quick. And I was like, damn, of course. I'm not going to be able to get close enough to that thing. So I just keep walking. Right. And then on my way back, I was like, I think that's the log that turtle dipped off of. Usually when they dip off, they just like go to the bottom, find some little rock to hide underneath, and they just chill in that same spot. So I was like, I'm just going to go look. So I'm looking in the area. I don't really see anything. It starts to get kind of deep, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. And I look, and there's this tree right next to the thing with the roots coming into the waterway, and there's the turtle right in the root system. So I just like reached in and grabbed it, and I was like, oh hell yeah, pull it out. It's a red-eared slider. I was like, son of a bitch. I was so mad. I was like,
brought to you by Petco. Yeah.
So I picked it up and I walked the whole way back to Eric's place, and I come back up through the woods and up to the back, and everyone's like, what the hell do you have there? And I was like, a red-eared slider. And I was like, who's going home with it? Because I'm not putting it back there. And it had like a big chunk missing out of the back right corner of its shell. It looked like a dog like chewed off the back of its shell or something. Because it was just missing like a decent portion above the back. It still had its back leg and everything, but it was missing a chunk out of it. Damn, and so I just walked around, and everyone was like, what do you got there? And I was like, red-eared slider, do you want it? Red-eared slider, do you want it?
You gotta find the kids and be like, here, kid, have a turtle.
Yep. Chris Foley, his wife, and their kid, they were like, we'll take it, I guess. And I was like, yes, you will. Yes. Thank you. Amazing. Because I was not putting it back out there.
Right. Yeah, right. Oh, so I've heard that Mr. Mike Curtin is quite the herper himself, and has been crushing it, finding some really cool stuff. And if I remember correctly, it was either Kohler or Balin was telling me about him going and finding some timbers.
Yep.
And I was like, man, I want to go herping with Mike Curtin. That sounds like freaking fun.
Dude, he's got some spots. I'm telling you, man. They were like going out herping the next morning, and I was like, I have to drive back to North Carolina. But they were going to look for timbers and stuff, and they found a timber and they found copperheads, and I was like, oh my god,
North Carolina can wait a little bit.
No. But it's funny because I was talking to Mike while I was there. Of course, Mike Curtin was there, and his kids are there pumping it up, having fun.
Heck yeah.
Before I moved to North Carolina, Mike came up to Nerd while we were still there, and then afterwards, or no, was it afterward? We went herping around then. And I brought him out to one of the spots where I see copperheads.
Yeah.
And we found some copperheads. And of course, seeing copperheads is just fucking incredible. And in New England, with how rare they are, is like even more special.
Right.
And at Carpet Fest, he was like, man, when you took me out there to see those copperheads, that like ignited something in me to get out there and start herping more. And I was like, yes,
Hell yeah,
yes.
dude.
Once you
Hell
feel it,
yeah.
you're like, I gotta do more of this.
I gotta go back. I gotta go back.
Do it.
Yeah. Hell yeah,
So
dude.
he found some spots out by him, and yeah, man, he's been killing it. Like he's been seeing some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Heck yeah, dude. No, I love that stuff, man. I love seeing guys that are already hype about reptiles get more hyped about reptiles. Like that's so dope.
Yeah, and I like that. I like when people who like are very more on the like I'm not saying Mike is more on the keeper side, but like it's cool to me when I see somebody who spends more time in the reptile room than out of it, and they go out and do some herping, and they're like, "Holy, this is incredible!" Like, it's different. It's so different from cleaning tubs and going to expos and all that sort of stuff. And when you go out in the wild and you're walking along, and then boom, there's a snake going across the trail. It's just like, oh, it's so exhilarating. It just amps you up.
It's true, man. It's true. And it's interesting too, because like I feel like most keepers that are really heavy on the keeper side aren't really going out and herping like that. Yeah. Because we get very busy with, maintaining our animals and doing all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, you get the few people that can do both. And then you get those herpers that are just like, I keep like 5 snakes. I just like seeing them outside in the wild. And it's interesting because there is very little crossover between the two. But when that crossover happens and you get the keepers that start seeing the stuff in situ in the wild and they like lose their mind, it's like, bro, you keep like cool shit. And they're like, yeah, but that's on a rock in a lake. And that's cool.
Yeah. When you see a copperhead curled up in a pile of leaves, you're like, oh man, this moment is millions of years in the making. Like hundreds of thousands of years in the making.
Evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so true, man. It's so true. Seeing stuff out in the wild is a different experience for sure. I mean, like I recall like first time I went to go herping for Eastern Diamondbacks down in Florida, and like coming across my first Eastern Diamondback rattlesnake in the wild, I was like, man, it's a very different experience. Like I've seen him in captivity, I've worked him in captivity, and it's like, it's cool. Of course, I like rattlesnakes, but seeing one in the wild just sitting there, like, oh, dude, it's like the coolest freaking thing.
Yeah.
You can't beat that kind of stuff.
I still have not found a rattlesnake in North Carolina.
Me either.
I haven't gone to a lot of places that are in range, but where I'm at right now is like specifically where they don't occur in North Carolina. So
right. Like Rob would love to see a rattlesnake, but he moved to the one vacant region.
For real.
What's frustrating to me is I've gotten a few messages from some folks down or up, actually, because we're in North Carolina, so up near my hometown, one of the surrounding cities, that have seen timbers crossing a walking path.
Damn.
And a very like commonly walked path along a reservoir. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like all of the times that I would go there just looking for a freaking water snake, for crying out loud. These people are just going for a casual stroll to work on some cardio. Suddenly get a really great cardio workout when their heart starts pumping them 1,000 miles a minute as they see a 4-foot timber crossing the path. I'm like, that's really pretty snake. You suck, but that's a cool find, bro.
Bro, one of my friends up from Massachusetts just sent me a picture 2 days ago of a timber they found, and I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous.
Freaking cool, dude.
And then also, Jeff and Kendra did some herping, Puget Sound pythons. They did some herping at Daytona, and the pictures they posted, I was like, oh my God, you guys saw way more than we saw when I was down there. I'm very jealous.
Yeah. No, I mean, Florida herping.
And Josh Ortiz messaged me yesterday. He found a mother timber with a whole litter of babies.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna text him right now.
Don't you mess with him. Leave him alone.
No, I'm messaging him right now. I'm going to see him on Friday, but I'm gonna message him right now. You found a timber? Question mark.
Bro, it's seeing a mother with the babies is just so special. Like,
Yeah.
last week of August, first week of September is birthing time for wild
Yes.
copperheads and timbers. I guess down here too, because in New England, that's when I would see babies, is last week of August, first week of September. And the really cool thing is that with the copperheads, the babies stay with the mom until they have their first shed. And it looks like the timbers were doing the same exact thing, because those babies looked like they were in opaque and they were 2 feet away from the mom, all just clustered up right there.
Damn.
That's so cool.
I want to see that.
With the modern assumption being that snakes just like they only take care of their young until they're born, and then all of a sudden they're on their own. And then now we're
not
finding
totally
out
true.
Not entirely true.
Yeah.
Some of these birthing mothers stay with their babies until they have their first shed, and then they go on there and do their own thing.
Yep, very true. He just messaged me back. He said, oops, where'd it go? Yes, found a gator with babies too. And he sent a video that I will watch later. And
yeah,
that's cool.
He was scouting spots. So he was like, we should do a Herb Society trip out to this place. And I'm like, yes, yes, absolutely.
Yep, right now, I'm getting in my car right now. Podcast is over.
I am 100% down.
Yeah, absolutely. It's still so crazy. Like, thinking about how much you can see just here in the Carolinas alone versus what we're so used to coming from New England. It's like finding any sort of herp ever in New England is like, yeah, I did something, because we only get that short.
They hibernate for like 8 months out of the year.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you find something, even if it's a ribbon snake or something, like you're just excited you found a freaking reptile. And down here, it's like, oh, everywhere I look, I find there's an anole somewhere. There's this, there's that.
Yeah, 5-line skink everywhere.
Yeah, literally. Dude, I was walking out of Walgreens the other day, and there's a little freaking 5-line skink like darted in front of the door. And I was like, it's so cool.
Yep. What are you doing here?
Yeah. Mark and I went to brunch when we were down in Atlanta for his show the other day. And we're sitting outside, and he like points over. And he's like, "Look, an anole!" And like on the wall of the restaurant, it's just an anole scurrying down. I'm like, "What?" Right? Exactly. I'm here for the pancakes. Like, oh man, no, it's just cool to see them out in the wild doing their thing, just being wild animals like they're supposed to be.
Yeah, so I just took a promotion at work, so I'm not doing as much walking around people's houses as I used to. But I'm still out there when I have to go out into the field. I'm still like, oh, let me just take a quick peek underneath this wood pile right here. Let me just, bro, I saw a huge copperhead the other day. I was like,
really?
Yeah, so this is like a little bit of a story, but I went and treated this people's house, and for the first time, I got to go in there and like talk to them for like 20 minutes before we do the service and everything. And it's a younger couple, they're like probably right around my age, and the wife is wearing one of the green Eco Universe hats with a copperhead on it, and I was like, oh hell yeah, do you like copperheads? Like, I have that exact hat in the car right now. Like,
yeah, that's awesome.
And she was like, oh no, I was at a museum and I just like wanted to buy a hat, and this one kind of looked cool, so I bought it. And I was like, oh okay. Oh, okay.
Slightly less cool, but still cool.
Yeah, and I did their service, and like they on the side of their house, they had like a bunch of cardboard laid down and like some big pieces of tin. And I was like, are you guys sure that you don't like snakes? Because you got like a calling card for snakes. Yeah. I was like, you guys, if you don't want snakes, you should get rid of that, because you're going to have snakes here. And they're like, oh no, like, we don't mind them, but like we don't ever see snakes there. And I was like, oh, okay, just because you don't see them right now doesn't mean they're not going to be there. Right. And so that was like a year ago that I went out and talked to them for the first time, and I was out there maybe a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and I saw the cardboard is pretty deteriorated, but the tin is still there. And so I was like, I'm just gonna take a peek. And I like lifted it up, and there was a huge copperhead under it. I was like, well,
damn,
that is a big copperhead. I just left a little note. I was like, there was a giant copperhead underneath your tin, so just be careful when you go out there.
Right. Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah. I just scooted it off into the woods right next to their house. I was just like, it's just gonna come back.
Yeah, right. It really, yeah. Get rid of your tin.
Yeah, if you do not want snakes, please get rid of your tin.
Yeah, sheesh. Oh yes, okay. I would be remiss if I don't do it. Shout out to Mark for also specifically being able to call out what each of the lizards have been.
Yes,
so he's been learning, and I'm very excited.
We love to see it.
Yes, but yeah, dude. No, that's freaking awesome. I would like lose my mind seeing a giant copperhead like that. It was like, I just told you. I warned you. You could see something.
I was just like, okay, I need to buy a house and put out a bunch of tin next to the house.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Like before you even move, just have like a truck full of tin, just like ready to go.
Yeah, just all around the property.
Yeah, exactly. Be like, why do you have like half an F-150 full of tin sheets? He's like, don't worry, it's for the future. I'm planning ahead. Don't ask questions.
This is part of my 5-year plan, so please let me work. You haven't set up your TV yet? No. But I have tin.
I have tin to collect.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got any plastic pallets? I need those too.
Ooh. Layered, bro. Layered.
That's it, man. That's it. Sheesh. Dang. But no, that's awesome, dude. I'm happy you had such a great time at Carpet Fest. Again, yes. still jelly that I wasn't there, because I did miss getting to hang with some of the Northeast crew. But we did have a blast in Daytona, that's for sure.
Yes. Tell me more.
Yes. So the show overall was, your typical Florida show. You've got to deal with all the FWC rigs. So as far as animals are concerned, there's nothing too over the top amazing. But, of course, Jason Hood had those amazing Spilotes
that Keith Peak went home with.
Yes. There was definitely a handful of cool colubrids that I saw, some interesting lizards.
Ron St. Pierre.
Again, yes, Ron St. Pierre with his Italian wall lizards are just freaking amazing. No. So it was, but overall it was a good show. Business wise, there were some vendors that were saying it wasn't necessarily the greatest show, and from my overall visual scan of the show, the crowd was actually kind of light for a Daytona.
Really?
Yeah, but nevertheless, the show was a blast, as it always is. Two major highlights for me. One was the fact that Mark came with me.
Yes,
that was so great. It was awesome to have him come to the show, but also just as like a time for him and both of us to have like some moments of like a vacation, which
just chilling,
which
relaxing.
I never do.
Yeah.
I never do, and you certainly know that about me. Like I never do. But we had spent some time on the beach Sunday, and just we hung out with one of his friends from when he used to live out there, had come to meet with us, and so we hung out on the beach and did all that stuff. That was really fun. And then two was getting to speak with Ron St. Pierre. So if you missed our previous episodes with Ron, go back and listen to those. Talked with him really briefly on Saturday and was like, I'm coming back. Before I leave, I'm coming back, and we're just going to talk about these emeralds and everything you got going on. I said, because I am going kind of Corrales crazy, and I just want to soak up as much information as I possibly can, because he's got so many emeralds right now and is doing things so totally different than the norm and is having such great success. I'm like, I just want to pick your brain, because I know the general parameters that the rest of the industry knows. Yes. Keep them cool, feed them small, blah, 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 do this, do that. And Ron's like, everything you know about caninus, throw it out the window. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I got these things outside in Florida and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's like a very, very hot space to have emeralds. And he's like, they do fine. He's like, I'm feeding them correct size prey. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, medium rats. And I'm like, what? And he's like, I have no regurg issues. I have no poop issues. I have like none of that. And it was like just to dive more into what we had talked about with him on the podcast. And I won't spill all of the beans, because there's definitely certain things that he's still like tweaking and messing with and stuff. So we were just talking about some of the anecdotal stuff that he's been seeing over the last few months with these animals. But it was arguably the most thought-provoking husbandry related conversation I think I've had in the last 10 years.
Damn.
Yeah. I was already contemplating like some caging ideas for the stuff that I'm looking to expand in with the Corrales myself. And then after that conversation with Ron, I was like, I need to throw all those away. Like, that doesn't even fucking make any sense anymore. And like totally just derailed my thought process and put me right on another track. And it like blew my mind. That was absolutely a highlight for me. Talking with him, and I'm still like just thinking back to it. I'm like, I've probably forgotten so much of that stuff just in the last few weeks, just because there was so much information. But man, so I mean, that was great. I want to be able to get down and go to his place at some point. I think after he gets through the first winter and like has to figure, because obviously wintertime he's got to bring stuff in, and tweak how to handle them indoors, get that kind of dialed in, and then it seems like he's got a pretty solid lock on keeping them outdoors. So once he kind of has a bit more of that proof of concept figured out, I think I'm going to try to take a trip down there and just go stare at a lot of caninus and just drool for a bit. So, but that was great. Saw Keith, which was great. Showed me some cool stuff that he's got. Those Sanzinia were smoking. They were the greens, if I remember correctly. And they looked smoking. One of them looked like hypo-ish. It was nuts. I think I've only ever seen like baby, like true captive bred and born baby Sanzinia maybe once or twice before. So seeing them again is always a treat for sure. Let's see what else. Of course, it's always great to see guys like Dennis McNamara and Chad Holker. Big Mac, yeah. Great to him, Steve from Steve's Morphs, Bob Vu, like all the people. It was great to see. I think for me also, like, this year has been a very light year for me as far as like going to reptile shows just in general, because my weekends have been booked with music. So doing Raleigh the week before Daytona and then going to Daytona, it's like, well, these are really the only reptile shows I've been to this year. So it's just kind of nice to be back in that environment, seeing people that in some instances I haven't seen in about a year because I haven't been going to reptile shows. It was just great to catch up with so many people. Of course, it was great to introduce Mark to so many of these people, and having people coming up to me and be like, "Where your man at?"
Bruh.
Right. I did not send you pictures from Lee Abbott's table. I specifically left my phone in my back pocket.
I appreciate that.
Kept my hands in the front so that I did not take pictures. But he had some smoking stuff on his table, of course, as always. It was also cool to hang. We hung out a lot with Alan from Major League Exotic Pets.
Yes.
Up in Jersey. It was great to hang out with him. And he's the reason why I don't remember the back half of the U.S. ARC auction. So it was the Bells, Todd from Timberline, and Alan basically made sure that I only remember raising my hand to bid on things and not how much I had to spend. But it was great. It was great to see Phil from US ARC, of course. Great to see Elizabeth and Daniel from US ARC Florida as well. Also great to see Tom Crutchfield was there walking around. it was good to see him. Mario from
I saw that. I was like,
yep, Mario was there. Yeah. Man, there was just a lot of people there. It was definitely like as light as the crowd was, the hang and the vibes like amongst the people seemed just that much more locked in.
yeah.
You know, got to just hang and talk with a bunch of people I don't normally get to talk to because usually I'm locked in with other folks. So that was cool. Another interesting highlight was we get to the Hilton, right? And I wanted to introduce Mark to Chad because Chad helped get a badge for Mark so that we could get in and everything. And Mark ended up also running into Dave Levinson. So you already know. And Mark had on you already know what that means.
Debauchery.
So basically, Mark had these really cool shorts on. And
Yes.
so
and Dave's got cool shorts.
Dave does have cool shorts. He's like, hey brother, I just gotta ask, man, where'd you get those shorts? I really like those shorts. Now, mind you, if you don't know what Dave Levinson looks like, wide-eyed, giant beard and mustache, like can't even really see his mouth move.
It's
just like eyes. It's just eyes, you know. And I'm like, I'm just gonna sit back and watch.
He's like, why did you leave me with this man?
No, we were just right there. I'm sitting next to Chad Hulker, and we're just watching like the ping pong go back and forth.
Oh, that's great.
And he had a feather in his ear. Yep, that's right. He had a feather in his ear, and he was like, man, I really need those shorts. Like, how much for the shorts, man? Like. And he's like, you know, Mark's like, they're not for sale. They're not even my shorts. They're my sister's shorts. I stole her shorts. They were cool. He's like, I'm just saying, I want the shorts, man. You got to tell me where I can get those shorts. He's like, look, I do like these stretches and stuff, and I keep ripping the crotch of my shorts, so I need more cool shorts. Those look like they might not be rippable. So I just want the. It was like this whole amazing back and forth.
I'm sad that I missed this.
Oh man, I'm sad I didn't record it. I was just like infatuated as it was happening. And me and Chad and the rest of us that were there were like, welcome to Daytona, Mark.
Yeah. For real.
It was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious.
Bro.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Out of right, exactly. Mark, he wouldn't back down. Like Mark's not going to back down from any kind of conversation ever, and can throw the sarcastic jabs with the best of them. Literally, so it was just great watching that go back and forth. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, if he survives Dave, the rest of the show,
everything else is crazy
as hell. Yeah, exactly. It's just like Limey here. It's like if you can survive Limey, you're going to be fine, and everything else that happens in North Carolina, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it was. It was quite the experience.
Bro.
The US ARC auction was great. It's always a great time going to the auction.
Huge auction.
It was a massive auction. So usually we're in that like hallway space by the ballroom.
Yeah.
This year they opened up the ballroom and we were actually in the ballroom. So way and we broke the Daytona curse. Usually Daytona never exceeds $100,000. It usually doesn't even hit $100,000. It usually floats around 80 to 90. And this year we did $119,000 raised for US ARC. It was great. People really, I think people are really getting it that, you know, I mean, everything that's really come our way, you know, from state to state has been getting knocked down time and time again. You know, we just had Phil on recently and discussed that. You know, so I feel like people are really like, hey, while we're in a good space, we need to be, you know, keeping the momentum going. And it was very, very evident that was going on. The debauchery, of course, at the auction is probably some of the most fun. There's some videos that will soon get shared that I have. But somebody knitted quite the large mushroom, we'll say.
Oh
And
boy.
and that went with a butt cheek pillow and some alcohol. And Alan from Major League was like, well, I'm gonna get you that mushroom, buddy. And I was
Oh
like,
boy.
please don't. Well, all right, yeah, fine. Go for
Okay,
it.
yeah,
Let's just go for it. If I don't have to pay for it, yeah, sure. And he ended up losing because I think it went to Bob Vu, who
okay, that
then
makes sense.
gave it to Darian from Morph Market.
That's great. I love that.
It's just like, and it went for like a few $1,000s. I was like, that's the most expensive mushroom that exists. So, but yes, all in all, great times. Adeline did this amazing surfboard
that board is so
painting.
cool.
I was like, damn. Like when I first bumped into her, when we walked into the show, she was just kind of really getting started on getting it done. So to end up seeing that finished product, I was like, damn. And speaking of Adeline, this was great. I don't really have anything of Adeline's like anywhere. Yeah, but that has now changed twofold. I know it's behind you. So Mark, being the wonderful man that he is, went over there while I was talking with some other people and was trying to see if she had any Amazon tree boa drawings, which she didn't. However, she did have this wonderful
basin, bro. Oh my god. I love that piece.
I'm very, very much in love with this piece. And also was like, well, as I'm buying up all these corrales, the one thing I'm not spending money on is a basin. So while I stack my cages all around, I'm going to strategically place this in the middle of the cage stacks so I can just do like a panoramic video of all of my corrales. And then they'll be like, look, my basin.
Yeah, the affordable basin.
The affordable basin. And then I also, working on getting Mark his leopard gecko project kicking off. So my buddy Matt over at Sassabeck was like, hey, I put in the silent auction a $500 gift card, wink wink, you might want to snag that. And part of that also had this awesome Adeline drawing of one of his leopard geckos. So I was super stoked with that. So now we've got some Adeline art in the house, and I'm very, very stoked about that. But out of everything I brought back, this is certainly the best.
Yeah.
But
bro, I didn't know that Mark was getting some leopard geckos. That's pretty cool. And you guys got the chewies?
Yep. So we got the chihuahuas. He also recently just got a crested gecko. So yeah, I was able to work to snag him a really smoking subadult tricolor lily white, like a smoke show animal. So it's not quite sexable. So it's like right on that cusp where if it's a male, we're gonna find out very, very soon. So once we know, then we can go get it a mate. So he's building his gecko projects. And Friday we go to visit our good friend Nick over at Cold Blooded Earth. And that is where we're gonna kick off growing this leopard gecko project, because he's downsizing his leopard geckos. Now with the new baby and everything, it was like an erroneous, time-consuming project for him. So he's been letting that kind of stuff go, and he reached out. So I was like, I talked with Mark about it, and he was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's go get some geckos.
Yep.
So I'm dating an enabler, guys. This is happening.
This is very dangerous very quickly.
It does. But no, so I'm excited for that. So we're gonna go down to his place Friday. And also while we're down there, we're gonna go stop at Josh's place too. So it'll be a fun Friday of reptile debauchery.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited. But yes, so Daytona was just a great time, man. It was a great hang. Again, I was certainly more focused this time around on the hang and just seeing people more so than like really scoping out animals, because I really wasn't looking to buy anything. So I wasn't really staring at tables so much as just hanging with people.
Yeah.
And having spent so much time, again, not hanging with reptile people because I've been traveling and gigging so much, it was just nice to get to talk about reptiles for an extended period of time.
For real.
Yeah, it was great, of course, always to hang at the pavilion behind the Hilton and hang with all the carpet guys, the NPR guys, Jason Balin and everybody. Yeah, it was a great time. It was just
I'm
an
jealous.
time.
I missed all my regular people down there. I wish I could hang out with Phil Wolf. I fucking love that guy.
Yes.
So
People also mentioned this is why I can't go anywhere without you, Rob, because people inevitably always ask me,
They're like,
"Oh,
"Hey,
where's Rob?" And I'm like, I don't know, and I forgot the cardboard cutout. So send him a message, and we'll all be okay.
Yeah, the same thing at Carpet Fest. Everyone's like, "Where's Jeremy at?" And I was like, "Oh, he's doing Daytona. I'm doing Carpet Fest." I feel like I owed myself a Carpet Fest since I never got to go to the Pennsylvania one.
Which is fair, which is definitely very fair. And it's honestly, I mean, I was bummed that they were so close to each other, because it really did end up coming down to like, I can only afford to do one or the other this time around.
Yeah.
So it was a bummer, but I'm glad we got to rep ourselves and each other in different locations. So
Yes,
the question is, Rob, are you coming to Tinley?
I don't think so. I got so much crap going on here. Yeah.
That's fair.
It's
Okay, so what I'm hearing is I really do need the cardboard cutout.
yes,
No,
you
okay.
do. Yeah.
All right. So what I will do, everybody that's paying attention or listening later, is I will have a cardboard cutout of Rob, and I will get him to record some phrases that I can just press a button so that he can say things.
I know that there's going to be some inappropriate pictures with this cutout.
Yes. But also I'll put a little slot somewhere on Rob that can be the wish you were here slot, so people can leave you little love notes and stuff.
There we go.
So yeah, maybe I'll get that done, and I'll walk around the Tinley on Sunday with my cardboard cutout of Rob. And or maybe we auction the cardboard cutout out for the US ARC auction.
The US ARC auction, that'd be funny. I have to wear my Borat monokini.
Oh my God. Yes. Please
Bruh,
do that.
The cutout of the century.
Oh man. Yeah, so I'm excited. Animal Con coming up next week, and then I'll be at Tinley as well in October. This was definitely the year of hitting all the major travel things. So the only show that I didn't get to this year that I want to make sure I try to get to next year is one of the super shows in California.
Yeah, I want to do the NARBC show Arlington too.
Yes. Yeah.
Tracy, I think, sometimes goes to that.
Yes, I know. Man. We just need like $1 million, Rob, to just be able to travel.
I mean, hey, if I had it, I would definitely be traveling right now, but I don't. Yeah. So I am sitting my ass at home.
So right. But I don't. So I'm not. And I'm here in this chair, and that's what I got.
Yep.
But yeah, no, it's it was a great time. I was, I always love going down to Daytona. It's just a fun hang. Great to see so many different people. I also shout out to ARS and ARS caging, because the rack that they had just designed with the mini tub series that they just designed. I'm not a huge fan of the really narrow drawers, just kind of in general. I don't feel like they're a good fit for a lot of reptiles that end up getting put in them because people are just trying to maximize space sometimes to the fault. But this drawer, I think, was probably the most valuable drawer for this kind of size and stream. I forgot the exact dimensions, but I was staring at it because I had seen them make a post about it, and I was staring at it, and I was like, man, this is the tub. Like if you're going to try to maximize the space, it was just wide enough where I was like, I could see a 200-gram ball python, being in here and it being comfortable.
Yeah.
Before it would have to get moved up. So I certainly think that Black Box, who's been making racks for the ARS 55 series tubs, will want to start working on that one too. Because I was seeing that in person. Lenny and I were talking about it before the show, and I was like, oh well, hopefully they'll have a model there just to see. And I was very impressed, and it holds 130 tubs. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I was very, very impressed by that. So they get a shout out from me for that. Cause again, like I'm just not a fan of those pencil drawers. But this one seemed to make the most sense. I think cause a lot of them tend to become more narrow towards the base.
Yeah.
These don't, they stay very square. So you still get that square footage or square inchage.
Why they do that?
I don't know. I just think it's like the general mold. Like it just becomes easier to do that. I don't know. I'm not going to make some excuse for anybody, but again, just shout out to ARS for designing that tub, designing that rack. Because I think that is, if you're going to go the pencil box route, that was a really great design. So they get that shout out from me. I had to make sure I plugged that in there because I was just genuinely impressed by that. Okay. So again, Black Box. If you should, they'll do it. Yeah, you should get some tubs on that one.
They're good on that.
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. But yeah, it was definitely a great time. I had a blast. Mark had a blast, which certainly made me happy because it was his first time being at a large national show. Which, for anybody who can recall their first, it can be a very overwhelming experience.
Oh, for real.
even like that first day when we walked in there, I forgot who had like met with us first, but it was, the energy's already there and like moving as soon as you walk in. And he's like, I gotta just go outside for a minute. Like I'm not really a morning person, and we just hit the freaking ground running. And I was like, all right, let me know when the edible kicks in. I'll be I'll be here.
Like, bro, just chill in the hotel room for a minute and just like chill it, and then when you're ready to hit it, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was great. It was great to see people, a bunch of people came up supporting that were supporters of the podcast. So thank you to everybody that came up and said hello. And yeah, man, it was a great time. We both had great trips, and that makes me very happy.
Yeah. Justin Julander and Eric and Rob Stone and those guys, they were like, we were listening to the episode with Ron St. Pierre, and we'd listen to it for a little bit and then pause it and then all discuss the things that he was talking about. And I was like, yes.
Hell yeah. Man, it you know what's funny with that episode? Like I messaged Ron later, and I was like, man, we had such a great time, discussing everything with you. And I was like, I've been for a while just kind of like in a funk of my own, just kind of like trying to downsize and do all these things, and everything gets a little overwhelming when you've got so many moving parts. And so I was like, I've just been kind of like in a little bit of a funk trying to get everything addressed and changed. And I was like, the discussions that we had both right before we started and then during the podcast, like really helped lock in and center my mind onto what I was trying to actually accomplish. And I was like, that means a lot. And then again, just being able to talk with him at the show and really dive into some things a little bit more. I was just like, dude, I have genuinely not had a conversation that thought-provoking surrounding husbandry with somebody that's literally like testing it out, and is like, this is all anecdotal, but I'm having great success with this. I'm having great success with this. Everything that everybody said you couldn't do and that these animals would die from, I'm having success doing. And it just totally got my mind moving in a different direction. And I was like, whoa, like there's so much to be done. It was just a really motivating conversation and getting to spend more time with him like that was just that much more motivating for me to continue to pursue. And I got to send you pictures, Rob, of the little baby Russian burger eye that's here,
bro.
So yeah, I haven't really announced that or made many posts about that, but it's here. It's in quarantine right now and it's doing great. So I'm very stoked. I am very freaking stoked. So yes.
Hell yeah. Literally, when you sent me that picture, I was like, damn, those are cool Amazons. I was looking at, I was like, those look like Russian burger eye. And then I was like, why would he send me a picture of Russianburgs? Like, and then you were like, oh, these are Russian burger eye. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, one of those things is coming here, man.
I was just like, these look like Russian burger, but like they're so small. What?
Yeah. Yep. No, you know what was crazy was like, because when I was originally, if I wasn't told what they were when the picture was sent to me, I would have thought like, oh, that's an interesting litter of Amazons. It wasn't until like I was like staring, I was like, oh, whoa, like, okay, there you can see these differences. Like you just got to take an extra second to stare. And yeah, I'm loving this thing. It's a little shithead right now though. Like it is like, I want to murder you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm very, 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 very excited about this, having this here. And at some point, once I sex it and everything, I'll figure out getting it a mate. And I've established in my mind there'll be a pair of Rushis, there'll be a pair of Annulatus. I'll have 2 pairs of Caninus, and then the rest of it's just going to be Hortulatus City over here. So I'm very excited to be building this out and getting things going on that. You'll be proud of me, Rob. I sold a berm.
Yes.
I'm down a berm now.
Preserve the ratio.
Oh man.
Bruh.
Yeah, I was like, I just made the sale the other day, and in the back of my mind I'm like, I can't wait to tell Rob about this.
Bro.
Oh gosh,
I haven't seen anything crazy come out of the berm world recently. They must all be like, I don't know, sitting on their thumbs or something.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the caramel pieds. I think the caramel pieds look really pretty.
Oh no, I was talking about people picking up poop and squeezing it through their fingers.
Oh, that crazy. Yeah. No, I haven't seen any of that. No.
It's been a quiet minute. I'm also not in any of the berm groups, so
I'm gonna send Matt Bowers a message. Just be like, hey, bro, it's time for a shit pick.
No, stop.
Rob says he's ready for it.
No. No, I'm not. I don't think I'll ever be ready for it. Every time it just sends a chill up my spine.
Yeah, man. Sometimes we need a little refresher.
No. No.
Screaming. Jeez. All right, dude. Well, that's gonna round out this episode. So, sir, you know the deal. What in the realm of reptiles has you excited about reptiles right now?
I'm gonna do 2 because talking to people at Carp Fest was like just really jazzed me up. Me and Matt Minatola talked for a long time. Rob Stone, Aspen, Zach Baez, man. Just talking to those people just like really amped me up, man. I was just so fucking hyped. Adam G. It was just like, it was such a good time talking to all those people. And since I haven't really been to shows recently, I just like, it's been good to like reconnect with reptile people.
Hell yeah, man. I feel that 100%.
And then scrub python eggs. Come on, man. It can't be anything but scrub python eggs. I mean,
true.
That's what it is. I'm really jazzed about those. So I'm happy to see what comes out of that. And just looking forward. This upcoming season, I think I'm actually gonna breed some shit again. Like actually breed some stuff, not just like 1 or 2 things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was looking at some Borneos and I was like, oh man, I got so much cool shit. And I've had people messaging me about the black trait stuff, the skunk stuff. So I'm like,
yes,
my girls have had a year off. I got some stuff that's been on the up and up, getting ready, and I got so much stuff that's ready. I'm just like, oh man, we're gonna knock it out of the park this year. Yeah, it's gonna be
time.
It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be pretty cool. I probably should not get out over my skis. I should watch how much I try and produce because I don't want to produce too much, but I just got some cool Borneos and I'm looking at them like, oh man, this is gonna be some cool stuff. So I'm excited about that. And then hopefully Janet will go again next season. And hey,
hell yeah,
dude. It is. I'm trying not to get too excited. I'm excited for what's going on right now. I'm not gonna get excited about future because you never know. You never know what's gonna happen.
That is true. That is definitely true for sure.
I can move someplace where there's venomous, and then I go get rid of all this shit. I'm just getting rhino vipers and wagglers pit vipers and shit.
Right.
Get some Crotalus molosus. Something crazy. I don't know. We'll see. Well, how about you? What do you got? What's got you jazzed about reptiles right now?
I'm hella excited about this Ruschenberger eye. Like that's kind of got me geeked right now because that's a species that I wasn't super familiar with, just kind of overall. And then I was doing a whole bunch of digging and just trying to learn more about them. And then to get the opportunity to get one that just kind of fell into my lap, I was like, oh hell yeah, like let's go. Like I'm pretty stoked about that. And honestly, I'm similar to you, just happy to have had a chance to be around reptile people and just kind of like catch up with folks and nerd out about reptiles and all of those things. Like it was just fun. It was just fun. And it was like it was a reminder to myself. Like I remember coming back and saying to Lenny, like, I have to make sure that I make time to do some reptile shows in 2024. And just like, I didn't realize how meaningful those moments are for me until I hadn't experienced them in 8 months, really, so so that just got me really geeked out. So yeah, I'm here for all that.
I can't miss Daytona again next year. Like Dominic DeFalco, Jacob Rods, Justin Smith,
everybody.
Puget Sound, Skyler, Hill Scales, bro. I don't want to miss those guys.
All those guys.
Craig Trumbauer, man. Oh my god,
Craig Trumbauer, dude. Yeah, man. Absolutely, dude. I was also Brian Cusco had flown in from California, which I was not expecting. I didn't know, so it was great to see him. I was like, what? So yeah, it was really cool. It was a good show. It was a fun time.
I'm not missing it again. I'm not.
Yeah, you can't. You can't miss it ever again, Rob. Ever again.
Budget that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Bro, let's just split the hotel room, man.
True.
Or get a freaking Airbnb.
I was just thinking that, bro.
The number of people who were saying something. Yeah, the number of people that were there that were like, "Oh, dude, I got an Airbnb like 2 blocks from the venue, and I got like space for 8 people." I'm like, oh, dude, that's actually sounds kind of fucking nice.
Yeah, everybody hanging out, grilling, cooking, chilling.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
Damn, yeah, we need to do that next year.
Yeah, dude, I'm freaking down. I'll find the place that my buddy Claudio stayed at, because he was like, dude, I got 5 bedrooms at mine, and he was like, literally an 8-minute walk from the venue.
What the hell, bro?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, shit, dude, what?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wonder how far out in advance you can book those things.
I think you can book them pretty far. I think you can do like a year in advance or something like that. So it might be worth looking into.
We'll have to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I'm down. I'm down.
All right, man. If people want to find out more about you, see pictures and stuff you got going on and videos, where should they check it out?
You guys know the deal. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Brassman Reptiles. I just haven't posted on TikTok in a really long time. I need to get back onto posting there more frequently. But yeah, you can check it all out there. It's all under Brassman Reptiles. If you are on Twitter at all, it's at Brassman Rep, because they won't let you use that many characters in your handle. So
they might have changed it since he changed it to X.
I'm gonna make X my X. Like I just don't use it.
Yeah,
I just
too.
don't use it like that. Honestly, like I've only kept up with it because that's where Barcheck has been making most of his updates as far as like his health and stuff like that. So I keep tabs on it there so I don't bother him texting him with things. It's like, oh no, I'll wait for Twitter. But yeah. All right. How about you? Where can people find you? Facebook, right? It's always Facebook.
No. Just Instagram. Like you can follow me on TikTok too, I guess. But I've honestly been trying to take a little bit of time away from posting stuff on there. I just been like, I spend too much time just scrolling, so I'm trying to spend a little bit less time on there. So you follow me on Instagram is where I'll probably be making most of my updates. TikTok, I guess. I haven't really posted on TikTok in a little bit, but yeah, Instagram is a place where Rob is creeping it real, and we will catch you next time. Make sure you check out Black Box Cages. They're the bomb. We love them.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I have Black Box swag for you too, Rob. I gotta make sure I get that to you. And your Schleg shirt. I did get that. So I gotta make sure that the next time we see each other, I got all that stuff for you.
Hell yeah. It's gonna be like Christmas.
Yeah, buddy.
Hopefully it's not around Christmas.
But... Hopefully it's not. It needs to be before Christmas, Rob.
Yeah, before Christmas.
We gotta hang. We gotta figure out. Mark and I were talking about trying to go to like the Greensboro Science Center or something like that soon. So maybe we plan a couples trip, and we go geek out over there.
Yeah, me and Kristen were talking about going to that with some people who came to. Oh, we've all been talking about that. What am I tripping?
Yeah, from the Herb Society meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
I heard that they got a Komodo there.
Oh, we really got to go.
Yeah, we really got to go. I just need to see Komodo dragon again.
Right, exactly. It's been too long.
Yes.
But hell yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.